on, you guys? It is your boy, the American F1 fan, Eric Ringel here, and the Austrian Grand Prix has ended. Charles Leclerc is your winner. Max Verstappen finishing second. Lewis Hamilton finishing third. But I'm going to try something a little bit different today for our race recap, as we're going to go through Formula One on Reddit, and Formula Dank is the subreddit that I'm going to be looking through for some of our memes. Also going to look through Twitter to find some memes there. And then at the very end, we'll just cover points and whatnot. So let's try and recap the Austrian Grand Prix the best we can in meme form. So first on the docket, Mick Schumacher. Is it finally happening? Mick had an amazing race today for Haas F1. Able to finish 6th place, his best ever finish in Formula One. This by far was an amazing result for Haas. Double points finish today. But I may have to start eating crow, as Mick has now finally started to show his true talents. And I've got to say, I'm very impressed. And I may have been a little quick to judge and may have been a little quick to throw him out of that Haas F1 seat so quick. Such great racing. After the first pit stop, literally you had this setup going down into turn 3. You had Magnussen, Norris, Ocon, Guan Yu Zhou, who eventually ended up dropping off in the end. And then you had Mick Schumacher. Eventually Mick ends up in front. Esteban ends up in front, but then it was Mick, Lando, and Kevin Magnussen. But this shows why the race was so much better than the sprint race that we had yesterday. And I'll put up in a little card so you guys can see just what, like, the sprint races just have offered no excitement. But this race today, absolute excitement. This was the kind of racing we were looking for today. And this is absolutely right. Lap 1, George Russell put Sergio Perez into the gravel at turn 4. And this is funny because Lewis did it before. Now George has done it. Mentorship as his finest. And Lewis is telling George, all right, George, you know what to do if Red Bull goes around the outside. Shove him into the gravel. This is the second year that Sergio Perez has ended up in the gravel at turn 4. Not very good luck at Austria, as we found out, as Sergio Perez ended up eventually having to retire from the Grand Prix. But, like, George only getting a 5-second penalty for that. I don't know if the punishment necessarily fit the crime. And on Twitter, I'll show you one of the tweets that I had that, like, 5 seconds for pushing somebody off the track doesn't fit the crime if you're going to punish everybody 5 seconds for going past track limits. Ferrari strikes again. Plan E meant explode. And there's going to be those conspiracy theorists out there that are going to say, yep, this is what Ferrari had planned for Carlos today. They purposely made his engine blow up. Just let's knock it off with the conspiracy theories in Formula One. It's just an unfortunate accident that Carlos had his engine blow up. I mean, he was on pace for a top 2 finish, a Ferrari 1-2, and just, the engine lets go. We've seen Ferrari have reliability issues so far this season, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that Carlos's engine was finally, ready to let go. So let's tamper down the conspiracy theories already about that Ferrari planned this. One of my favorites, Gunther, has got to be freaking ecstatic right now with Haas, and double fucking points for Haas again this week. Two races in a row. Mick Schumacher and Kevin Magnussen are doing absolute wonders with this car. For a car to have 0 upgrades on it. Every team has brought upgrades to their cars so far. Haas is the only one who hasn't. And look what they're doing. Just imagine if they put upgrades on their car and, like, all of a sudden they're even much faster and they could maybe join the top 3. I mean, I doubt it, but can a guy hope? There's really no audio to this video, but I think it makes the most amount of sense. We'll start the video over. But apparently in Canada, they were showing the race in a side-by-side, and there's smoke coming from a campsite just as Carlos Sainz's engine blows. And just That's horrible timing by TSN up in Canada, but that's hilarious that they were showing a campsite on fire just as Carlos Sainz was retiring from the race. Now this, yes, it looks like just an orange cloud, and it says, point of view, you paid €200 to watch the Austrian Grand Prix in person, and you get this. You get that orange smoke, and I get that Dutch fans are excited, and I wonder how much longer it's going to go, because there were times, especially on lap 1, after they exploded all of these smoke, bombs, whatever you want to call them, it was appearing on the track, and there was a point where it was really hard to see on camera, where the cars were coming, and, this has got, it's got, you got to think it's a safety issue, but everybody paid money to come see the race. Let's tamper this down just a tad. I know you guys are excited for Max, but let other people around you who may not necessarily have Max as a fan enjoy this and not necessarily have to shoot off this orange smoke. Eventually, it's going to cause a safety issue, and somebody's going to wreck because of it. Now, before the race started, there was, so ESPN and Sky Sports had come on and was talking, and I caught the tail end of what they were trying to talk about, but basically there was there are a ton of statements being made by the crowds, or towards the crowds, and whatever the case may be. And so there was a statement put out by Formula One. We have been made aware of reports that some fans have been subjected to completely unacceptable comments by others at the event. We have raised this with the promoter and security, and will be speaking to those who have reported these incidents and are taking these very seriously, as this kind of behavior is unacceptable and will not be tolerated, and all fans should be treated with respect. I cannot agree more, and good God, can we just be regular human beings and just, let's be nice to each other. Just be nice. I don't, none of this kumbaya crap, but God, just treat human beings with some modicum of respect, please. Such a great picture. In the sprint race, now I did say in my video yesterday that I think one of the only highlights of the race was the battle between Mick Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton, and this is a great picture right here. What a battle. One of them has 7 world title trophies at home. The other one is Lewis Hamilton. Mick did an amazing job defending against Lewis Hamilton yesterday. Unfortunately, he fell, behind Lewis, but it was such a great defense. It was such great racing. That was the only highlight to the sprint race yesterday. The Hoster plan. Double points again for Haas. I'm going to talk about this until the cows come home. I'm excited that Haas have double points again for the second week in a row. Haas is really starting to step up their game, and like I said, with upgrades coming, this car could be dangerous to some of the other teams up higher in the midfield. I always love this meme. Carlos, you're on fire. No, get out of the car. You're on fire. It scared me there for a little bit, because it almost looked like Carlos wasn't going to get out of the car, as the car was having a hard time. Just there's no parking brakes on these cars, so he was trying to get it stopped. Luckily, they finally got the car turned enough to where it would hit the wall that was kind of behind him, and they got it stopped and got the fire put out. But I'm sure there were people that were freaking out there for a moment, as was I, that Carlos was not getting out of the car while it was almost engulfed in flames. This one's good. This one's good. George, I want to be just like Lewis Hamilton. Meanwhile, George doing the exact same thing the year after, and putting Sergio Perez into the gravel. That could not be any closer to the truth. Sergio has got to hate Austria at this point. Even though he's a Red Bull driver, he has got to absolutely hate Austria. He just has zero luck there, at least the last 2 years since he joined Red Bull. It is totally a different type of fear for Ferrari fans. When they kept seeing this insignia pop up on the screen, you'd see Team Radio Leclerc, and you were just wondering if all of a sudden he was going to go, my engine's gone, my engine's blown, or my engine's shut off. You were just waiting for it. Now, luckily, Charles was able to hold on for the entire race and held on for those last few laps, but I'm sure the butt clinching that was happening in Ferrari's garage, the whole puckering was absolutely tight. You couldn't get nothing through it. Like, they were afraid that car was going to blow up, and I cannot imagine what would have happened had that car blown up and Charles Leclerc DNF'd. And I saw this. So looking through a little bit of stuff beforehand, I saw this and I literally was like, no way. There's no way. Somebody had to have doctored this. No, I went back and watched. Sure as shit, the F1 and F1 TV, and they're, oh my God, like, how can you mess this up this bad? But apparently this is telling us the future, that Sergio will be at Ferrari, Carlos will be back at Red Bull, and Max will somehow go to Mercedes. Like, oh my God, F1 TV, get your shit together. Like, we have complained before about your logos and all this other stuff. Like, this shouldn't be a problem 11 races in. Like, you should have this crap covered by now. Okay, this one's good. After Mexico, looking to have a calm conversation with George Russell. I am so sure that this is exactly what would happen if George Russell went to Mexico and had a discussion with some of these fans. Like, they probably would lose their shit at him. Like, they were so excited for Sergio and what he did able to, bring it from, what was it, P13 in the sprint race to P4, and then to only get knocked off by George Russell. Yeah, there's shit's getting lit on fire. I literally don't know what it is about this meme that keeps getting funnier and funnier. We keep adding more and more stuff to it. We've now added Carlos Sainz sitting off on the side of the track after his car blew up. You've got Mika Hakkinen. You've got the tire changer at Racing Point that got flung over. You've got George Russell. You've got, I don't even know who that is laying there. You got Fernando, Lando, Valtteri, and Max. And, like, this meme just keeps getting funnier. It's literally turned into the biggest picnic of your entire life. All right, so now moving on to Twitter, and the very first thing you see there, the Haas F1 team. Yeah, boys! Another amazing weekend that's back-to-back double point scores. These guys are looking like absolute legends right now. Like, could not be more excited to see what's going to happen. This is a very good one right here. Mick Schumacher today. Look at me, I'm my dad now. He is starting to really, prove that he belongs in F1. Like I said, I got to eat crow. I didn't think he was going to make it, but congratulations, Mick. I was wrong. Time to eat some crow. Yep, all fans were fearing this. Like I said, I fear no man. But that thing, the Leclerc radio signal, that scares most of us. Like, I truly believe every time it came up, it was making every Ferrari fan's butt pucker. Ooh, this is very interesting. Just tweeted out 3 minutes ago by Chris Medland. Make it a hat trick. Hamilton was summoned to the top three, all called to the stewards over something they did in Parc Ferme. We don't know what it is. We haven't been told, but Chris Medland has reported this out. This is going to be interesting. There was some talk. I was watching some of the post-race, and Max was talking to Joe Bauer of the FIA about something, and now we got to wonder. Now we got to start to wait and wonder. What could it be that they've gone to stewards for the top three? Here's a good picture from McLaren. Back into the points for Daniel Ricciardo. He's got to be happy today, finishing 9th. Absolutely great finish for Daniel Ricciardo. Kind of gets him maybe feeling a little bit better about things again at McLaren because he's not been happy lately. And Formula One tweeting this out. This makes my day just even more complete. Mick Schumacher was named the driver of the day. Like, first time, I think, in a long time, a Haas driver, if at all, that Haas driver has been named driver of the day. So congratulations to Mick on getting driver of the day in Austria. And this right here, I was totally in agreement with. There, about the midway point, a little bit past midway point, all of a sudden you started seeing every such driver getting a 5-second penalty for track limits, it literally felt like this. You're getting a 5-second penalty. You're getting a 5-second penalty. You're getting a 5-second penalty. It literally felt like that for like ages. Oh my God! I thought literally everybody was going to end up with a 5-second penalty at some point. Now here are the race results on screen. Charles Leclerc obviously finishing first, Max Verstappen finishing second, Lewis Hamilton third, George Russell fourth, Esteban Ocon fifth. Last guy on the lead lap, great race from him. Mick Schumacher, obviously fantastic race from him in sixth. Lando Norris, Kevin Magnussen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Fernando Alonso. Fernando, Valtteri, and Alexander Albon had really... Sorry, I kicked my camera. Valtteri, Alexander Albon, and Fernando Alonso had a really good race for 10th place there towards the end of the race. It was absolutely fantastic to watch. Fortunately, Fernando Alonso picks up that last point-paying position after starting 19th on the grid, so that was a really good race by Fernando as well. Now looking at the drivers' standings, Max Verstappen leading the way at 208 points, Charles Leclerc in second with 170, moving up to second place, Sergio Perez in third, Carlos Sainz fourth, George Russell fifth, Lewis Hamilton sixth, Lando Norris best of the rest so far for McLaren. Let's see. We're 11 races through the season, halfway through. Can he hold the best of the rest spot? And here are the team championship standings. You won't be able to see all the points because my big fat head is in the way. But you got Red Bull Racing at number one with 359 points. Ferrari is just now 56 points behind them in second with 303 points. And you've got Mercedes in third with 237 points. Best of the rest so far, McLaren Mercedes is in fourth place with 81 points. Then you got Alpine tied with them with 81, but by virtue of McLaren holding the better results so far over Alpine, McLaren's got the fourth spot. Then you got Alfa Romeo in sixth, 51 points. Haas moving up to seventh place in the constructor standings. Then you got AlphaTauri, Aston Martin, and Williams bringing up the rear with only 3 points. But guys, what an amazing Austrian Grand Prix. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What did you guys think of the race? What did you guys think of the sprint race? What did you guys think of the whole weekend in Austria as a whole? Also, guys, slap a like on this video for more daily and weekly Formula One content heading your way. Also, guys, if you're new to this channel, subscribe. Please hit that little red button there that says subscribe and turn it to subscribed, so you can get more Formula One content from me throughout the entire Formula One season. But guys, thank you so much for watching. And for the American F1 fan, I'm Eric Ringo, signing off.